Hello, buddy. Welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor. Today we're doing a coaching session for Jolty on patch 9.11. So special thanks to Jolty for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate it. Anyone else out there, if you'd like a coaching session, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. I'm happy to set that up for you. Just $25. I can do it on stream or I can do it off stream, whichever you prefer. And let me put the right stuff up here. And then I'll put it in a playlist, and I'll have this playlist linked in the description as well of all of my coaching sessions. So you can always have access to it. You can go back, watch it anytime you want. And you can go through and watch more replays. So if you enjoy just kind of watching this, trying to learn from it, learning from the analysis, then you can do that for free. So I always have all of them open for free unless someone specifically asks me to make it private. So you're helping everyone else. You're giving me some footage to help everyone else learn as well. So it's really cool, and it does help support the stream as well. Why does it keep going back to directed camera? Okay. Anyways, let's speed this up here. Which runes? I've seen some people running Spellbook. I think Comet is still kind of the standard, though. Okay, nice. Autos. Yeah. Yeah, last hit, but every time you have a free auto attack, you should be trying to auto him. And just try to, like, you know he's going to try to press the wave with his stuff. So try to stand, like, to the side of the wave a little bit. Make him choose whether he wants to harass you or he wants to harass the minions. Like, he shouldn't be able to do both. Just, like, he's going to, right there again, like, he's going to do that every time on those minions. I mean, I don't know. I'm not up on the entire Anivia thing, but, like, sometimes certain people do stuff that's sort of very special for certain situations. I mean, I guess, like, it can work. The problem is, like, you're giving up your lane, basically. But maybe it's good on her. I don't know. It does, I mean, like, she can use Ignite. She can even use, like, Ghost later on to try to roam and stuff. So it's not like it's terrible. It's just that it just doesn't do anything, you know, really early in the game. I mean, I guess it can help a little bit. On your first TP, you can come back and take Ignite and make a play. But yeah, try to auto him. Like, you are autoing whenever you land your Q, but, like, you have such a long auto attack range that, you know, you want to try to land your autos as much as you can. I just think of, like, your autos as a resource, right? And it's just like almost like mana or something. Every time you have an auto attack animation, you should be trying to look for opportunities to use it on something, either to last hit or push a wave or apply pressure to the enemy. You know, your first instinct should be, how can I use this timer? How can I use this resource that I have? Especially if you outrange them like this. And you got to bully them early. You got to get pretty far ahead early, because if you don't, you know, especially against a melee assassin, like, they're balanced around the fact that they should take a beating early game, so they're going to have a really powerful mid game most of the time. These melee, like, you know, your Katarinas, your Talons, your Zeds, all those champions are going to be, like, really strong at level 6 because they should have been getting shut down levels 1 to 5. So that's, you know, they're budgeted for that. So if you're not really pressuring them, then you're letting them get to that free power spike. Now, I know that Anivia is mana intensive early, so it's hard for you to keep up with push before you get your tier, so I get that. But, you know, try to land more of these autos. Now, he has a back advantage on you. You need to back and get something. Do you have enough for tier? I forgot the but. Is it X? I think it's X, yeah. Yeah, I would have just backed and got a tier. Because, like, right now, it's lightly pushing towards him. I guess it's about even. Actually, it's lightly pushing towards you. This is a good time to back. Because you don't have any mana. Like, you really need that tier. Because you don't have mana, and he knows that. So he just can, like, continually pressure you. And you need to use that teleport early. Especially on a tier user. Because, like, you need to get that tier stacking. And it gives you a lot of extra pressure early in the lane. Especially if you have Unsealed, because you can come back and take Ignite or Heal or Barrier. Like, the longer that you go without using Unsealed, like, you're losing a lot of power off of that as well. And that's partially why Unsealed is, like, really hard for a lot of people to use correctly, is because, like, you constantly have to find ways to use those summoners very proactively so that you're really benefiting from kind of the bonus cooldown that you get on many of those summoners. So if you just sit on your summoners for a long time and don't use Unsealed, then it just doesn't do anything, you know? You did have tier. You had 850. I just looked at your gold. As far as I can tell, it looked like you had 850 when I said that. You had like 840 or something. You know, you could have backed and you would have had it by the time your back animation finished. But, like, definitely, like, sometime around now. Okay, I would back immediately, and then I would probably take, he ignited you. I'd probably take Barrier. Like, you want to, if you have Teleport, a lot of times you want to TP, like, as soon as you get tier. Because a lot of times you can get a, like, an item advantage on the enemy. Like, if you back for 850 for tier, a lot of times they won't be able to get anything. Like, if you're doing it correctly, you should be able to back and get tier before he gets Dirk. So that's why, like, tier users like Ezreal and this new Kai'Sa build and Ryze, all these champions are hard, is because people overstay in the lane, and that allows the enemy to get a really good combat item while you only have tier. So if you back, for example, and he comes back with Dirk, and you have tier, then he has a huge advantage. But if you back first, and you get tier, and then you come back into the lane with Teleport or something before he has Dirk, he's going to greed out and try to stay in the lane for that Dirk, and you can constantly push him in and really punish him for wanting to go back. And ideally, you keep him there for longer, because the longer he doesn't have Dirk, the less he has map pressure on you. So, like, that's the thing with tier users, is you really want to force these very specific windows where you can back and get the tier before they get their big ticket item. So yeah, but he was able to go back and get that Dirk when you got the tier, and so he is ahead of you in lane at that point. Especially because he got your egg, but your egg's probably about up right now. One thing that's tricky about Anivia, and I'm sure you're aware of this, is that, like, you really need blues before you get tier and Rod. She's so mana hungry. So make sure you're asking your jungler if you can get that blue. Like, a lot of junglers just won't give it to you as much. Okay, that was a nice stun. I'm going to turn the sound up just a little bit here. A little bit quiet for me. Okay. Hecarim won't probably give it to you. I don't know. Oh, he... Wait, what'd you take as your summoner? Clarity? I guess that was close. It's going to be a real feels bad if you didn't have barrier. And he killed you right there. I feel like Clarity's kind of a waste, honestly. I mean, I understand, like, it could be good with Anivia before you have your, like, your main mana item. Once again, if you use that very proactively early on to push a wave, you know, you get your extra stuff and push a wave, then maybe. But I still feel like if you took heal or barrier or exhaust, ignite, like, there's so many things that give you extra lane pressure. Like, that does give you some, but I don't know. I mean, how much extra mana is it? It's 50% of your maximum mana. I guess. I mean, it can give you extra pressure early. I guess that's fine. As long as you, like, use it proactively and get to another one pretty quickly. Well, that is a good strategy, too. Okay, nice stun. You got the Q? Or the E, rather? No, yeah, don't follow him in there. Don't follow him in there. Don't get baited. The jungler could be there, too. I would not fight him over that. Especially not without barrier or heal or something. Like, I don't know. This feels extremely risky. Okay, you got it. Is Cannon going to get you? No. I don't know. I mean, it worked out there, but that's a little too risky for me. Like, E, like, flashes over this wall or something, or, like, Talon just hits one more auto attack. Yeah, I would just go ahead and back. If you're going to stay, you need to use Clarity right now. So that you can have mana to push. Wait, what? Ooh, don't use both of them. No, man. Like, maybe Clarity just to push, but for a plate. But I think the heal is too risky. Like, especially when there's zero threat. Like, maybe if Master Yi's running at you, use heal early, but, like, I know you're thinking that both of your summoners are back up, you know, like you've already got your teleport flash, but you really need to, like, make good use of those summoners. Like, that heal could have been used for this next trade. Also, the movement speed is so good. So yeah, like, maybe if Yi's running at you, I would have just backed. I think you're being really greedy. Now, you need to ping that he's coming down here. Like, don't just ping question mark on your lane. Like, do exclamation points in the river so that they understand that he's coming down there, probably. Boots, Catalyst. Okay. God, Anivia takes so long to power up. Okay, Rod. Alright, that's better. Like, I know you pinged missing in your lane, but you need to spam ping Talon specifically. Like, Talon, 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 and then ping, like, the question mark, or the exclamation points in the river. Be careful of Yi on the left. Okay, Talon's top. You need to ping that a lot. Yeah, I would just go clear this ward. And then probably back up. Yeah, I would back up. I wouldn't... I mean, maybe, like, Yi could be there, though. Okay. Okay, now go push this. Talon's still top with Garen. I would walk up and push this. Like, just R it, clear it, and then run. Okay, Talon's still up there. Yi could still run you down, but you have Hecarim's kind of close. I would probably go help Hecarim get Dragon here. This is too far, I think. I mean, Yi is not that fed. Like, you might be able to outplay him, but... yeah. See, all you got is some damage on the tower when you could have had Dragon and you could have backed to go buy some stuff. But now y'all are really far behind on this Dragon. So, yeah, that's not worth it unless you get the tower. Which was unlikely. You just don't do enough damage to it. Now they get the tower. Or the dragon. Excuse me. I don't know what. I just got something in my throat. Yeah, so I would have just I would have dragon there. All right, Hecarim got it, so, you know, he kind of saved it, but I think he's going to die to E. Maybe not. Okay. Oh, okay. Nice, that was clutch. Push middle. Yeah, you're too late down there. I mean, they're all, like, E's dead, everyone's bottom. You should definitely 100% be pushing middle right now. I don't know if you, are you like AFK or what? Yeah. You could have had tier 2. I'm pretty sure if you just push. I'm not sure if you're like typing to him or like what the deal is, but yeah. Yeah, this is gonna be rough because you delayed the push and then you decided to go push after it was like too late, and now they're gonna get Rift and they might get tier 1. Yeah, that was really rough. It's like not only did you get the tier 2, but now they just have full momentum on the map. Like they're gonna get this. If they're smart, they'll pick up Rift. You're gonna lose minions to the tower. Like everyone's just clowning out, like running in like 1v1. Like you just lost complete control at this point of the map. They're gonna pick up tier 2. Garen's got pressure top. Someone's gonna roll up and kill Caitlyn here in a second. Yeah, that was a catastrophic like 2 minutes there. So like the big takeaway there is you should have gone with your team to get that dragon faster. That would, because like you lost momentum on the map too when they ran you off of mid tower, because they sent like 3 people bottom and they didn't pay for it. They didn't have to pay anything. But if you would have just pushed this into tier 2, backed, got the dragon, then if they tried to go bottom, you would have been in a position to rotate down there and help with that. And then while you were typing their middle, then they, you know, you could have pushed tier 2 safely, probably gotten that tower, and then you could have gotten out of there before they got you. And they would have wasted time trying to chase you around. But I mean, it's crazy how sometimes just things that seem kind of small like this can completely change the momentum of a game. How'd you die that time? Let me go back and see here real quick. Yeah, I mean, they cascaded this just really hard. Okay, so Yi's bottom, but Caitlyn's dead. Galio is backing, so you guys do not want to chase here. And Anivia is not very good when she's chasing anyways. Yeah, it's a really bad chase because they could have up to 4 people here. You don't have Caitlyn, you don't have Galio. Galio doesn't have ult. Yeah, he's just overstaying around this. They might be able to get Baron off of this too. Garen tanking and Master Yi, like going for it. Yeah, he did a lot of damage. I mean, he's 8-2. Like, he's really fed. So yeah, I mean, this is just like super cascade. And that's why, like I said, like small things like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, you know, just pushing mid instead of like getting that dragon there. But it really is, because it just completely derailed the momentum. Like, especially in like silver, when your team starts losing momentum, people start freaking out. Like, they don't know what to do. They just try to, they like know one way to play. And they just like, they're so distracted by the fact that your team is getting like destroyed that they're not focused up. Like, they're not thinking about how do we get back in this, like what do we do. They may not even be like changing their tactics. They probably aren't, based on the fact, hey, this champion I was just fighting has 900 more gold now after that skirmish, so I have to, you know, take that into account. I have to understand I can't 1v1 this person anymore. Like, people have a really hard time switching modes. They're like, hey, I was just beating this guy, you know, 5 minutes ago, but now he's really fed. And then they'll try to fight him, and then they'll complain afterwards, oh, I didn't realize dude was really fed. It's like, well, It's been announcing it in red across the screen. You've got a tab button. I mean, I'm guilty of doing that too sometimes. Where I'm like, holy crap, how did this person get really fed? But like, you should always be, you know, kind of taking stock and adjusting, you know, how you're playing. And tell your team that. They may not listen, but they might. Just ping, just say, hey, like, Garen's really fed. Let's not fight him. Like, you should definitely look at it at least when you die and when you're walking back to wherever you're going. Like, you should tab and kind of see what the situation is. You know, probably more often than that, but that should be like a minimum. And now Yi's just like so fed, it's gonna be difficult to deal with him. He was like 0-2, but okay. So yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, as far as, like, obviously, you know, you have a good KDA here, but I think that the big plays that have really, like, the stuff you could control that has really hurt you the most was that push instead of dragon. And then the not pushing tier 2 when you saw, like, 3 people bot and Yi dead, like, the typing instead. I get that your team's freaking out, but, like, you know, make sure you're taking care of business on the map first, and then if you need to type to them, you can. You know, push that wave first, and then while you're backing, then type to them. And it needs to be something really quick. If you're going to type anything at all, it needs to be, everyone chill, we can win. You know, something like that. Like, just super fast. It doesn't need to be a, you know, a deep theoretical explanation of how you get back in the game or whatever. Just something really fast. Because people will only read, like, maybe 5 words or something that you type. They're not going to read full sentences. They're definitely not going to read multiple lines. No, y'all are way over chasing here. You don't have Caitlyn, you don't have Aatrox. Yeah, you just can't be here. And I assume Caitlyn's kind of AFK here. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe she's waiting on an item. Yeah, like, you got to look at the map before you start chasing people, you know. Aatrox is top, Caitlyn's middle. You know, you can't really go much further than, like, golems or something. Like, you try to make a play. And that happened several times in this game where you're kind of over chasing and your team is just not, like, your team's okay at chasing, I guess, sort of, kind of, but, like, not really. Like, Galio doesn't have a lot of mechanisms to catch up to people. Caitlyn, same thing. Like, you don't have mechanisms. Like, Hecarim can run people down. Aatrox can kind of run some people down, but, like, most of these fights were people overextending and chasing, like, low percentage plays. And yeah, I think that was the biggest thing. So the biggest things I would work on here are try to land more autos on Talon in the laning phase, or just on any melee champion in the laning phase. Like, even if you don't stun them, like, just landing those autos does add up over time. And then try to, like, take advantage of that TP early, like we talked about. Go back, get that tier as soon as you have 850. You know, push the wave in, go get the tier, teleport back, get a combat summoner. You know, I would highly recommend probably in that matchup getting something like Barrier. Feels really good because it helps get around Ignite a little bit. Like Barrier or Heal potentially might be something that you would like. If you're feeling like you're going to land that stun a lot, maybe Ignite. But I would have done that. Some kind of combat summoners and just, you know, when you have an advantage on him, you know, as you're pushing in, if you get an opportunity, you know, see if you can pick a fight with him if his Ignite is down like it was, and you've got your heal or your barrier or whatever. But either way, you should be backing, using the teleport proactively to get a tier on the spot before they get serrated Dirk, come back, and just keep a lot of pressure in the lane. I don't mind Clarity, I guess, if it's one of your first summoners, but, like, you need to be, like, pressuring the lane and using that Clarity proactively to keep pressuring. I'm still not entirely sure that it's worth. I would rather have a better summoner probably, but that's something to keep in mind there. I did have a couple of good plays with him and killed him, so that was nice. Just try to push in the lane as much as you can. That one time, you got to kind of assess, like, after the tower plates are down, if you're working tier 2, a lot of times it's not worth it to try to go up there by yourself. You need other people. So I think the best thing to do after tier 1 is down is just to push it into tier 2 and then look for something else to do on the map. Like, see if a scuttle is about to pop up. In that case, you could have gone to go get a dragon with the Hecarim. See if you can rotate bottom or top lane. Maybe even just go farm their jungle. Keep a ward over their raptor pit after you push them into tier 2. See if you can wrap around and go farm the raptors. Go farm your raptors. If your jungler is, just running around randomly ganking or just like not farming their jungle efficiently, just go take the raptors or take wolves. Just go look for something to farm. And so yeah, do something like more proactive after you take the tier 1. Don't overchase later on. I thought the items were fine. I don't know what people were talking about in chat, like you building a frozen heart or something. Did you have that at the end? No, I mean, I didn't. Maybe that was a different game. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, so like your fighting looks pretty good, for the most part. It was just kind of the macro decisions, just over chasing. And I know a lot of that stuff probably wasn't your idea. You were just kind of going along with people, but you got to you got to ping them back. Just say, hey, no, don't do this. And if they're doing something stupid, then you got to let them do it. Just let them die. Just, you want to like not die. You know what I'm saying? So I'm guilty of doing that too. I try to go save people, I try to go help people, or I get dragged into stupid stuff. But you just got to learn not to do that, especially if you watch a lot of like high-end challengers or pros. If someone's doing something stupid, they just let them go. Like if they're trying to invade the jungle and you don't have vision and they know that it's going to be overextension, they just walk away. And that's just what you have to do. Because, Anivia is very good at stalling. So even if the rest of your team is running around clowning and, they're dying all over the place, like, you can still stall out, right? Like, you can clear that minion wave super fast, so at least they don't get towers. You can push in waves really quickly, so it makes it harder for them to take Baron. You can go look scary around the Baron pit sometimes to zone them out. Their engage is not that strong as long as you don't get hit by the Morgbind. So in theory, you could just walk up and, like, throw a wall in the Baron pit or just, like, channel your ult around there. Maybe throw a Q in there. Like, just do stuff to disrupt them. Like, just stop them from getting objectives as much as possible. Like, Anivia has a lot of stalling power, so if you could have just stayed alive, even if the rest of your team died in several of those encounters, I think you could have minimized the losses. Not only are they not getting gold from you, but you would also prevent them from getting objectives. So, I mean, it was going to be a hard game. Like, there's no way around that, right? Like, Caitlyn's feeding... everyone's feeding. You did pretty well in the laning phase, so that's, you're at a detriment. This is not a 50-50 game. Like, you are likely to lose this game. But I think that, if you do some of this stuff, you will improve your chances to win. And if you do that consistently in other games that are a little bit closer, you will win some of those games. Now, I think this one at a certain point was winnable, right? Like, I think that, like I said, if you had not pushed all the way to tier 2, you rotated a dragon with Hecarim, and then they tried to gank bottom with Talon, and you and Hecarim both collapsed down there and got multiple kills on them. So instead of them getting those 2 kills for free, if you trailered in behind them and got 2 or 3 kills after them with the dragon, and then you're able to push in and get extra pressure on the tier 2 and then go get Rift Herald or something like that, I think that y'all, had the potential to turn it around. But just like some of these plays, just that 1-2 minute window there, and sometimes that's all it takes, where you didn't get the dragon on time and you didn't push tier 2 on time, and then people just kept funneling in, 1v4, and they got like 2 or 3 towers in a row and like 5 kills. Like, it was just really hard to come back from that. But anyways, I hope this helps you out. So, just to recap, a little more auto attacks in the laning phase. If you have teleport, try to teleport, get that tier ASAP, especially if you have unsealed spellbook. Try to push, but be careful if it's tier 2 by yourself. Try to find something else to do, dragons, scuttles, jungle camps, whatever. And then don't chase as much with your team, especially if you're an immobile champion like Anivia. You're not getting away. Like, sometimes if I'm playing Rakan, I can afford to maybe like go do something with people, but and get away. But the thing is, like, other people might stop too. Like, sometimes a lot of people just go with the flow. Like, if, Hecarim's about to run in and do something stupid and you start following him, then maybe Aatrox wasn't going to do it, but now they see both of you doing it, so Aatrox wants to go in and do it now too. Right? Whereas if Hecarim was going to do something stupid and you pinged back several times and you walked away, maybe that would give Aatrox the courage to walk away as well, and then it would just be Hecarim dying instead of 3 people. So I know sometimes it seems like, well, I was just going with the flow, but it's like, it's chain baiting a lot of people. So someone's baiting you, but then you're potentially baiting other people by going along. So I know it's tough to make that call because a lot of times you do need to be with your team doing stuff with the team. Sometimes it's better just to make a bad call if everyone's together than everyone like doing their own thing, like uncoordinated. But, I think most of the time if someone's doing something stupid, you just got to let them die. But anyways, that's going to be it. Sorry about that. Hopefully you get through those promos soon. I have faith in you. I think you can do it. Just try to keep it chill. Try to, reflect on some of these things. These are easy things to fix, I think. Like, I know it's easier said than done, but these aren't, like, impossible. Like, master these crazy mechanics. It's just clean up the decision-making just a little bit. Just a little bit crisper on the decision-making. Because, like I said, your fighting's pretty good. When you're in a team fight, you're landing your Qs. You're getting some good walls off. You got some good trading in the laning phase. I think that's definitely there. I think that's definitely gold material. You could definitely get into gold with that. But it's just that decision-making that seems like it's not as big of a deal, like it's kind of secondary, but it actually does end up being a really huge deal. So if you just tighten that up a little bit, I think you can get there. But anyways, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Anyone else out there watching, you can email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com if you'd like a coaching session yourself. If you want to watch more coaching, I'll have a link in the description as well. I think this is going to be the 180th coaching video, so be sure to stay tuned for that. I'm constantly adding in more. Stop by the stream sometime. We'd love to have you. It starts around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes, 10:30 if I'm running a little late, depending, like with family stuff or school stuff or whatever. But usually we start sometime between like 9:30 and 10:30 and go until about 2:30 a.m. most nights. It's a really friendly community, very chill, very helpful. Be sure to check out the guides on the channel as well. I just released a Yuumi in-depth guide. I've recently done a Lux guide, and I know I've got a Nautilus guide and a couple more coming up as well very soon. And then I've got topical guides like best one-trick champions, how to macro better, how to micro better, what is dodging, how to do it better, how to think more critically about champion select and different team comps. We've got videos for almost everything. So be sure to check it all out. And we'd love to see you on the stream sometime too. But that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps out a ton with visibility on the channel. And I'll see you next time.